YouTube and welcome to another video. Today I have a very special video for you. So I recently reached 1100 subscribers, and for that I wanted to do something special. I wanted to do something that I've actually been thinking about doing for quite a while now. And I wanted to do a video that's combined the two main topics of my channel. I think one of them obviously being Winx Club, and the other of them being Lolita fashion. So how are we going to combine Japanese fashion and Winx Club? Well, if you remember a video I did about Winx Club magazines like quite a while ago, definitely over a year ago, but I think more than that. In that video I found in one of the Winx Club magazines an article about Japanese Harajuku fashion. And I didn't really notice this article when I was young because I wasn't into Japanese fashion yet, but ever since I rediscovered it in this Winx Club magazine, which is from summer of 2007, I believe, 2007. Ever since I discovered this Winx fashion article about Harajuku fashion, I've been like dying to know what this article is about. How do they talk about Japanese fashion, how accurate it is, and so I've decided to translate it. Now, did I pay a professional translator to translate it? No, I translated it myself, and I'm gonna put a disclaimer here right away that I do not speak fluent Italian. My knowledge of Italian is extremely limited. I haven't learned Italian. Basically, I used Google Translate and context clues and common sense to whip up a approximate translation. Now this obviously isn't perfect, and if you speak Italian and if you feel that I translated some of it extremely poorly and you feel like you have a better translation, please feel free to politely correct me in the comments. But I'm not saying that this is the most perfect translation of an article you could ever have, but I do think it creates quite a accurate understanding. Like, we can understand what the article is about based on this. So I'm going to read it to you, and I'm also going to react to it. And I'm gonna be basically reacting to it from the viewpoint of how accurate it is when talking about Japanese or Harajuku fashion. Now keep in mind that this was written in 2007, meaning it can only be accurate about Japanese fashion in that time period. So if you feel like, oh, this might have been true then but it is no longer true now, then well, yeah, but the article was actually written in 2007, so please keep that in mind as well, and I'll also try to keep that in mind when reading. I'm going to be reacting to it as I read it, simply because I think it's more interesting that way. It would be boring if I just read you the whole article and talked about it later. So we're gonna be reading some out, talking about it, reading out some more, talking about it. So I hope this format is okay with you, and let's start. I should also point out that I have worked in journalism for a limited time, and I have a background degree in journalism, and some of the comments I'm gonna make are also gonna stem from my background and the education in that. In the header it says Winx Fashion, then it has this little bubble and it says follow Stella's magic tips to always be in the latest fashion, or like always be in style, I suppose. And I think this is something that's in every magazine that has these Winx Fashion sections, as the Italian magazines do like seem to have. Based on the ones I have, I think they all have this Winx Fashion category, this Winx Fashion special column. Harajuku style special. Okay, now we get to the actual article. The latest fashion comes from Japan, the home of cartoons. Already I have some thoughts. I think that it's really interesting that Winx Club acknowledges that Japan is like this big great country of animation, which I like, but I do find it interesting that in this article they refer to anime as cartoons specifically and not anime, like they use the word cartoony, which is very clearly cartoons. Even with my limited knowledge of Italian, I can tell that much. Here the girls have fun, inventing an eccentric, glorious, and personal style inspired by cartoon and comic characters. The Harajuku look takes its name from the Tokyo district, where students love to shop without going into the big designer stores. Already, I feel very iffy about the first sentence. Like, obviously, we're not talking about Lolita fashion specifically here, but I think even when it comes to Harajuku fashion in general, it's not usually inspired by cartoon and comic characters or manga and anime characters, if we're calling these things with the right names, because that's cosplay. that's cosplay, and I don't think fashion really has too much to do with that unless it's collaboration. Of course, if this article is written by someone who has like nothing to do with either of the topics, then it may feel sort of aesthetically similar, I suppose. But I would say that it's not really correct to say that Japanese street fashion is in general inspired by anime and manga. Also, in the next sentence, we are saying that the students love to shop without going into the big designer stores. I'm sorry, AP Store, you're not a brand. You're not a real brand. But even in like 2007, Harajuku like definitely had designer stores. They were local Japanese fashion designers, but they were definitely like big and expensive designer stores here. So I'm not sure how I feel about that sentence either, to be honest. Okay, but let's move on. Each Harajuku girl creates her own style, drawing on her own tastes in cartoons, books, and comics. I really wish that they would give up on constantly drawing the parallel with manga and anime and constantly saying that they are so inspired by each other, because not everything in Japan is inspired by manga and anime. Like, Japan has other things besides those two things, and of course we need to keep in mind that this article is written for children, but still. The result is a colorful Chester mix of quotes: a little baby, a little technological, a little dark. Try creating your own style too. Now, what I think this is trying to say, because this is an example of my translation not being so fantastic, is that it's a colorful mix of different styles and aesthetics, like maybe a little childish, a little technological, I suppose. This word is, I think, correctly translated from what I gathered from the original Italian. I guess they mean that Japanese is like technologically advanced, although I'm not sure how that translates into style specifically. And a little dark, maybe they mean like a little gothic. So try creating your own style too. And now we move on to the next part of the article, which is Harajuku in 10 steps. Harajuku style in 10 steps. To give a touch to your look in pure Harajuku style, just a few small tricks. Okay, so give your look a touch of Harajuku style in just a few small tricks. And then we have 10 steps. Step number 1. Different colored socks. Wear them with a skirt and ballet shoes, even over tights. I mean, that's fine. We're talking about Harajuku fashion in general here, and not Lolita fashion. And yeah, I think wearing different colored socks, I mean, people even do it in Lolita, and socks over tights, not really like something revolutionarily wrong about this either. Step 2. Lots of clips on the fringe, or bangs, as a piercing, in quotation mark, as a piercing for the hair. Combine 3 or 4 different shapes. This is just accurate. I have no complaints about it, like, especially in like Decora. but in Lolita fashion as well, putting lots of crap on your hair, which I actually haven't done today. I should follow this article's advice more carefully. But putting a lot of crap on your hair is the way to go with Japanese fashion, I feel. The mini on the leggings. Now this is one that I translated very badly, I feel. Stretch leggings are all the stretch leggings are also raging in the spring-summer fashion in Japan, I assume. The cotton version, they also come in cotton. Now, this is 2007. Were leggings a big thing in fashion in general in 2007? Yes. Can you wear leggings? Could you wear leggings in 2007 in Japanese street fashion? Also, probably yes. So, technically, I don't have any problems with this, but this is very reminiscent of the era where this was written in. And it even acknowledges here that the leggings were also all the rage in spring, summer fashion in Japan. So, yeah, I mean, for the era, I have no complaints. Step number 4. Also, I think this one I also didn't translate very well. To kilt with, I assume they mean tartan. Good girl or badass. More fun to match the cards, as the very young actress Amy Bruckner does. Pigtails and kilts with ambitions and dark sweatshirt. Okay, now, if you don't understand any of this paragraph, I'm just gonna show you the picture they have here. There's this young Disney Channel actress. I didn't know her before translating this article. I had to actually Google her, and I didn't really understand why they exemplified her specifically. Her look doesn't seem like extremely Japanese to me. I mean, it's cute and there's definitely some inspiration there, but it's not like she's dressing like extremely alternatively in my opinion. But I think the thing here is that this Winx fashion section sort of has a format where there has to be a few celebrity names because they will even highlight them in a special font. So I think that this is one of those things that they need to have in every article, and this is just why they have searched for a star and put her here, even if she doesn't really match the article too much. But yeah, the idea is that you can wear like a short tartan skirts and pigtails and sweatshirts with cute animals on them. And I mean, they're not wrong. You can, and it does give a sort of Japanese fashion vibe. Step number 5. The evening dress day on jeans, even over sweater, with ballet flats or sneakers. Again, this may confuse you, but what they mean, I think, is like poofy ball gowns or like evening gown style petticoats worn with jeans and sneakers and sweatshirts, as you can see in the picture here. And I would say I've never seen anyone wear like these sort of fluffy petticoats are very Japanese fashion, are very like Harajuku, but I've never seen anyone wear them with jeans. But I mean, this could also be a translation. No, sui jeans. I did not mistranslate that. But yeah, you can wear them with like sneakers and sweatshirts. That part is fine. I've never seen anyone do it with jeans. Yeah, I suppose. I should also mention I'm not like a huge expert on Japanese street fashion in general. I do mainly know Lolita fashion and I'm not very knowledgeable about the other fashions. But I still really wanted to translate this because it just brings in the different topics of my channel so beautifully. Step number 6. Bows and lace. White lace, pink ribbons, straw hat, and the Harajuku style in the dolly version, which is inspired by the look of kawaii heroines, which means cute. Get the same effect with a scalloped apron, ask your grandma, over shorts. I found this incredibly funny for several reasons, because I think here they might actually mean Lolita. I'm not completely sure, but from what they are describing, it sort of sounds like country Lolita or just Lolita in general. And I find it interesting that they called it the dolly version of the Harajuku style. Harajuku style and the dolly version. I think maybe if they did mean Lolita, maybe they were trying to avoid the word Lolita. I find it funny that it says that you should ask your grandma for a frilly scalloped apron, because in my experience, grandmother's aprons are nothing like AP's 200 euro aprons. And of course, this isn't maybe the article to go to if you really want to get into Lolita fashion, but yeah, grandmother's apron over a pair of shorts with some lace and pink ribbons and a straw hat does not a Lolita make. If they did mean Lolita, but I'm getting this vibe that they meant Lolita. Tell me what do you think? Just like tell me in the comments. Step number 7. Plastic glasses. Ooh, I'm already there. Do you have to wear glasses? And have you always looked for less showy models? Harajuku girls, on the other hand, love to put their glasses on display, thus proving to have personality. Thus proving that the glasses have personality. Perfect black frames like that of Keiko Agena. Sorry if I butchered the name again. So again, they have to like bring out a celebrity, but I feel like this choice is slightly better. I find it really interesting that they're talking about plastic glasses specifically, because I know that at least in Lolita fashion there has been whole discussions had about whether or not you can wear glasses in Lolita fashion, and like plastic glasses and showy glasses and glasses in general, and the answer is yes you can, definitely. I think we have moved on from that whole discussion, but I still think it's interesting that they bring it out like a step, because it's not something I would have brought out. I don't think it's wrong, but it's not something I would have personally picked if someone had told me to create an article about 10 steps to make your look more Harajuku or something. But step number 8. A colored lock. Just a hair rimel that can be removed with a wash to color a lock of red or purple. Okay, so what they mean is that you use one of those hair coloring products that just comes off in a single wash that have very bright colors, but you can just color a small section of your hair, which is good advice for children. And I mean, colorful hair is definitely part of alternative Japanese fashion, can be a part of that, and it's not wrong. So I think it's sort of suits. Pins and charms. To give a touch of Harajuku to your bag, to the satchel or jeans jacket, just attach lots of pins and key rings to the handles of the bag, to the buttonholes, or on the collar of the jacket. Try also with colored hair clips. This is just a very solid advice, I think. All sorts of little cute trinkets that you can add to your outfit, bows, pins, things to make it more cutesy, definitely do make your look feel a bit more like kawaii. In my opinion, like I have no qualms about this, and if I did, I'd be a hypocrite, because I also kind of do this. I think it's very interesting that they suggest to add things to the buttonholes. I have never tried that, so that's interesting. Step number 10. Do you still have the handbags you had when you were small? Those in the shape of a plush kitten or a pink heart, and the plastic necklace to play ladies with. It's time to get them out of the drawer. I find it extremely funny that this article has a line, "Do you still have these childish things from when you were a kid?" And it's a Winx Club article in a Winx Club magazine meant for children. I understand why they're doing this. It's because your demographic always wants to feel a little bit older. People, like children, lots of children want to feel that they're adult even when they still actually are children and like childish things or things that they might feel are childish later. So I can understand why they would go with that sentence, but I just found it extremely funny when I was translating it. Do you still have those things you had when you were little? When in fact the magazine is definitely not for adults and not really even for like older teens. I mean, yeah, it's not bad advice. There are definitely, like, if you have a heart-shaped or a cat-shaped or some sort of purse from your childhood, it could definitely work even in Lolita, but I think it could definitely work in just Japanese street fashion in general if you want to go for that look. I mean, the rules for Lolita are definitely a lot more strict than the rules for some other Japanese fashion styles. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad advice, I think. So, what do I think of this article overall? I think there are some hits and misses. Obviously, it's not an article from like a fashion magazine, so that's understandable. But also, I don't think it's like terrible. It's not like the worst thing ever written and gives so much misinformation or anything. I think it's fine. There are some things that I found really interesting. The constant need to really connect things with manga and anime in the beginning, I didn't really like. So I'm glad they let go of that in the end parts. I found the glasses section very interesting because it's not something I would have thought of. Again, I wouldn't have maybe brought some of the celebrities into this, but I feel like they had to just because of how the format works. And yeah, if you have any thoughts about this article, please let me know in the comments. I'd be really genuinely interested to know. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. It was a longer video, but I mean, I wanted to analyze this article a bit, so it sort of had to be. So I hope you have enjoyed this. Hope it was interesting. Leave your comments down below. If you're not subscribed to me yet, then like consider doing this if you liked this sort of video, because it really covers both of the main topics on my channel. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!